Both Miss Yale and the minister, and actually all the other witnesses on this panel, I guess, today, have tried to make the claim that our freedom of speech is not being attacked by this bill. In fact, that it's not even impacted. That somehow content can be moved up or down in the queue without impacting other content. Now, it would be my opinion or my observation that in order for some information to be bumped up and made more discoverable, other information then must be bumped down. I just don't see how it's possible to not have that be the case. So when that is the case, then it means that there's a mechanism being used in order to regulate and curate what I can and cannot see, which then would be a form of censorship. Mr. Geist, I'm wondering if you can comment or elaborate on this further.
Well, I think you've highlighted what is the nub for so many experts that have spoken out on this issue. And that is that, first off, let's be clear, user-generated content, when we are speaking of the content, is regulated. I mean, it's absurd to simply suggest, well, you're exempted or the CRTC is bound by some other policy objectives. We are putting it into the basket of regulation. And we would never dream of saying the CRTC would or should regulate things like our own letters or our blog posts. But this is core expression for millions of Canadians. And we are saying that it is treated as a program like any other, subject to regulation. That's number one. When you layer in on top of that, as the Liberal proposed amendment does, discoverability requirements, what you are saying is that the government, through its regulator, gets to determine what gets prioritized, not on a specific piece of content per se, but it's going to make choices, elevating some, deprioritizing others. That clearly has an impact on individual Canadians' expressive rights. It's doing so in an environment that, frankly, is completely unworkable when you think about this from a user-generated content perspective. And the notion that somehow this increases choice at a time when there is unlimited choice for user-generated content is frankly just absurd.